Hey guys, Foxy is Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and we are back talking about XCN. Now, today's video, like last week's, we're going to be talking about market structure, but also I'm going to be talking about the manipulation that we saw on Sunday first. So let's look at CoinMarketCap before I pull up the charts. We are still down on the week because of that manipulation. We are up on market cap very slightly, down in volume, 86% bullish as a community sentiment, and still waiting for a few massive exchanges. So what happened? Well, let's look at Bitcoin first, right? Sunday rolls around and boom, Bitcoin absolutely slams to the downside, right? No news, no tweet, no big event that happened, nothing. This was just pure manipulation from the market makers. Very simple, right? There was a bunch of exchanges that were selling off Bitcoin. Why? Because they just wanted to sweep out liquidity, rebalance the market in the way that they saw fit, buy at a premium price, and then push higher up. Very sneaky stuff. And like I said, and I have been saying, and I will say in the future forever and ever, this market, whether it's crypto, stocks, forex, futures, metals, whatever you're trading, whatever you're investing in, it is manipulated. That's why we always have to adapt to the market. We cannot predict the market too much, because going from this entire move, we saw higher highs being printed and lower highs being printed. And it was in a bullish formation, right? It looked like we wanted to close above the fair value gap and push higher. And then boom, out of nowhere, nobody was predicting this would happen. So now let's bring it back to XCN, okay? So we understand what the manipulation was. If we look once again, what do we have, right? We're going to do a recap because it's important. Weekly fair value gap. Okay, we are in the weekly fair value gap. We can get rid of that. It is not important to us. Okay. So we are trading within a weekly fair value gap. We bring it down to the daily zone. We were consolidating in that daily zone, right? And what did I say last week? I said that we are either going to close and push to this daily fair value gap or close below and go to the downside. So which option did we get? Well, we got the manipulation to the downside. Now, if this was just purely based off a couple of days, this candle, right, going to the downside, I would be more confident in where price would want to go. But because this was a purely manipulated candle, this candle is also kind of just purely manipulated, right? The market was absolutely red yesterday, and today I think I read that $95 billion was pumped into the market cap of Bitcoin just today. So originally, I would have said with this manipulation candle that this sweep of liquidity would make very perfect sense. Why? Well, very simple, right? We took out previous liquidity and we were not able to sweep it to the right of it. So this becomes a strong liquidity zone where many buy orders are filled here and money is located. But because we have been manipulated, we are pushing to the upside. And now we are kind of in a no man's land, right? And that's why you can see the volume on XCN is very low. It's negative 2%, down 2% on the day, because people are unsure and they don't want to buy in a zone that is unsure. Because what can happen is we can now head towards this daily fair value gap, retest it, and push even lower for the sweep of liquidity before the real push to the upside happens. So I would kind of advise to, if you are looking to invest into XCN or take a leverage trade, I would advise to wait, because this is purely no man's land, right? There is no zones here to the left of it. There's no order blocks filled. There's no resistance, no support zones, nothing to really gauge where price is headed. If I were to take a guess, my guess is that price is going to go towards the daily fair value gap And then we're going to have to see, does it want to close strongly above? Because if it closes strongly above, I will be confident that the retest will happen before the next zone is targeted. If we get to this daily fair value gap and we get a strong push to the downside, I would not be surprised if this liquidity would be swept. And then I would say this area is the strong buying opportunity for the push up. Okay, so have a look at that sweep of liquidity, that wick down there, as your possible investment if we get a push down, because like I said, the market is too manipulated right now. We can also break it down on the 4 hourly, right? We can see what was given. With this manipulation also came a fair value gap, right? It is a massive imbalance, and we are in that imbalance right now. The reason I'm not really looking at this imbalance too much is because it correlates with our previous imbalance right over here, right? This imbalance right over here, it is in line with it. And that imbalance is stronger, right? Because we had more consolidation, more volume in that area. So I wouldn't even really look at that. On the smaller substructure, yes, we are getting a higher high from this zone, right? We have our lower high here, and now we are forming a higher high, but that does not necessarily mean we are going to push to the upside. Why? Because like you all know, one higher high does not mean it is a change in character, right? It's not a switch in order flow. So we have to just see what the market is going to provide to us. If we look at that weekly fair value gap though, looking at the bigger picture, we are still in a bearish trend, right? Very, very easy to spot. We have our highs, lower low, lower high, or yeah, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Push to the downside. And we are in that imbalance right over here. So there is truly nothing on the bigger time frame that is saying we cannot go further down, right? But if things look like it makes sense, this liquidity looks like it is very strong, right? I would not be surprised, like I said, if we get a sweep, maybe push a little bit lower and then go to the upside. So as of right now, I would say hold off on any investments. We have not got any confirmations in the market. The market is heavily manipulated right now. I am not liking that it is manipulated, because when things are manipulated, it goes against what market structure should be, right? Now, there is no 100% look at market structure and what it should be. There is just high probability things, right? For example, this imbalance in price, right? We can see that even though we had a very strong push to the upside with an immense amount of buying pressure, we were not able to close below, and then we got a push to the downside. That means this daily fair value gap is a very strong zone, and a closure above it would more likely than not, this is where the probability comes in, it is more probable that a push to the upside would happen here. So you always want to be looking for probable scenarios and playing out probability. Do I know 100% that it will not close and slam down because it got manipulated again? No, that's why I say we always have to adapt to the market, and I hate giving out long-term predictions, because truly I don't know. Nobody knows. The best trader on Wall Street does not know, because honestly, right, look at these two candles right over here on the week, these 2 weeks. You think anybody predicted that? We can literally have that in the next 2 weeks and nobody would have predicted that. And everybody right now that got in on XCN, if we got to those highs, would be very, very happy, right? 600% almost. That is what I'm saying. We cannot be predicting. So, you know, all of you guys know what my view on the market is to just wait it out this week, see how we close on the week, see if we get any more manipulation, and then maybe next week we can start talking about a closure above here or the sweep of liquidity and where we are going to go into the future. So if you guys enjoyed this quick little breakdown chart analysis on XCN, make sure to leave a like, comment if you have any questions, concerns, XCN to the moon. subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.